Shalom, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ. Bless, happy Sabbath. Can you hear me? Alfred Robinson, his rib, leave it to God, Perez Malone, Sister Julia, Sampson, R&T, Jessica Garcia, Gwyneth, Princess, Dorothea Israel, Tazara, Darius, Judah, Ben, Israel, T. Grace, Renita Israel, Zion, Selah, Mariah, Princess, Guy, Israel, Abednego, Azariah, Ida Serrano, Sabuda Israel, Facebook, Tamiko Sanchez, Lynette Garner, Issachar, Most High in Christ. Bless. Happy Sabbath. Shalom. It's the calm before the storm. Yes, everything is going crazy here. Everybody's in a panic. And what's crazy is my back hurt from shoveling snow last week. And here we are getting worse than before. It's crazy how you never know what to expect from one week to the next. You know? You sound tired, Deacon? Yes, I am. Age is catching up with me. Feel like you never get enough sleep. There's always an issue. There's always something going on. Satan don't take no breaks. In my hometown, the store shelves are almost empty. Same thing here in New York. People are buying up things like crazy. Yes, Sheba. You have to pay one of these young brothers to shovel the snow. Yes, that's true. You could do that, but you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. But it was my fault when I hurt my back. I was watching a video today. It was amazing. This guy was showing how to shovel so that you don't hurt your back. And he said bend with your legs, which is true. Damn, felt like 22 below in Flint, Michigan. Yeah, I can't take that cold no more, man. I can't. I feel like them old people saying it's time to move. In Texas, yes, I remember when y'all got hit with that storm in Texas. It was unexpected, and I hope y'all prepared now, you know. You got to have a readiness preparedness plan And after that last experience with the power outage and everything, they saying they fixed the grid, so there shouldn't be as much problems with the power. I hope, because y'all not ready for storms the way we get hit with the storms. So the cold is going to be a problem after the storm. They were saying, take your pipes so the water don't freeze. Leave it to a trickle so that the water's coming out. Where is that? Give me 1 second. This will be helpful. So before we talk about the snow and ice, I want to talk about ice. I just didn't put their image in the title because I was worried about them doing what they did to me with Charlie Kirk, because it's just crazy how we're dealing with snow and ice at the same time. Okay? They've been off the chain. How was leg day? Man, I'll never get used to this, man. I'll never get used to it. But I got to do it. You know, it was horrible. It's still, it messes with you psychologically. I mean, it could be me just overdoing it, but I'll go hard. At work, they cannot keep any generators, ice melt, or pool salt. They are flying off the shelves. Yeah, I got a generator from 2 years now. Because of the panic and the fear. I don't wait to go and buy them because everybody buys them and then there's price gouging. They raise the price up. But I ain't playing with that. You know, I got a little one, but I wanted to get one bigger. At the time, I didn't really understand the power that you needed. So the one I have is okay. I can use it more for Feast of Tabernacles, but I'm going to get one of those good ones. Where we at? Come on, Jan, I need some help. He put Salmos 40 and 8. That's Psalms 40 and 8, right? El hacer tu voluntad, Dios mío, me ha agradado y tú le está en medio de mi corazón. I'm learning. Solar power generator for my apartment in CT being shipped to me. Won't make it in time for the storm. Hey, you better hope one of them package people don't take it. That becomes a hot commodity when people are in a matter of life and death situations. People humanity goes out the window. If you got a jackery, if you go on their website, they have a page that will help you determine which size you need. Yeah, I didn't know. I just got to, I didn't really do my research, so I wasted money. I mean, I could use it, but it's not for the way I want to use it. What does Ephesians 4:26 mean when it says, let not the sun go down upon your wrath? Meaning you get angry and you do something stupid. The sun is your wisdom. So you let your wrath go before your wisdom. Those who may be suffering from traumatic brain injury while being in the truth and knowing the reality of life, would you say the spirit one deals with the long, dealing with a TBI? What's a TBI? I guess you're abbreviating traumatic brain injury. I don't know. Injury of your brain and your spirit is two different things. If you have something physical that happened to your brain where you're not in control, I don't think that that's a spiritual issue more. So we got to separate the two. You could have a physical injury that affects your spirit. You know? But I want to show y'all some stuff that was going on. This whole time I thought it meant you better stop being angry before the sun. No. The sun and the moon represent wisdom. So when you put that wisdom out of the way and you let your wrath go forth, you do stupid stuff. Now, I'm not staying with y'all all night, man. I'm so incredibly tired. It don't even make no sense no more. You're not broadcasting to biblical smoke. I don't know why. Who's over that? That should have been started. Y'all get biblical smoke all week. Let some of that smoke stay right here. Y'all saw them fools that came in that room this week and they got cut it up and shut it up. I like when they think I'm not there and I just pop up like, hello. How you doing? How can I help you? They be like, where this fool came from? But all praises, them fools keep catching the blazes when they say, oh, it's just so much stupid stuff. You can't. Every week I see how much people hate God and don't believe the word of God. I literally got people to admit this week that they don't believe in the Bible. Even when they're attacking us, and I bring the scriptures back, I made it clear, Negro, you don't believe in the Bible.
Come on, man.
I like when they go, you're twisting my words. I said, no, Negro. I'm repeating exactly what you said.
Nigga.
Oh, that fool, Mighty, is she? That fool, I made him lie. He left the room and came back, and I caught him in 2 lies. Then they get mad at me when I catch them in a lie. And I use their like I said to him, You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used to embarrass your ass on Clubhouse. They still don't get it. I like that one. They be lying, so I gotta attack them like a lion. Stop lying, and you won't have to see the lion. But these people, I'm 100% sure that these people have the book, and they refuse to look at what God got to say. You could be like, that's not what I said. Yes, that is exactly what you said. I even apologized to him like, well, maybe I misunderstood you. Could you repeat it? And they repeat the same damn lie. Shalom Deacon, is it okay to dye my hair black? I am very gray, thank you. Let's see what the Bible says. Give me Proverbs chapter 16, verse 31 for the hair dyer. Those African Christians wouldn't answer. Oh, they be driving me nuts. First of all, you got to figure out what they're trying to say and then answer them. It just drives me nuts.
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 31. The hoary head
is the gray hair. When it says hoary head, that's the gray hair.
Is a crown of glory.
God said that it brings you glory. The reason why you want to dye it is because you care about how the world looks at you rather than how God looks at you. Read on.
If it be found in the way of righteousness.
If you keeping the commandments and you got gray hair, it's a crown of glory. All right. Proverbs 20, verse 29.
Proverbs chapter 20, verse 29. The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head.
So you think if you still want to dye it after you heard that, don't worry about the way the world looks at you. Look at the way God looks at you. I got a lot of gray hair now. I don't care. I'm like, it is what it is. But I never considered dyeing it, you know. Go back down a little bit. Shalom Deacon, my father's funeral's today. Sis, may I ask, sir, if I'm able to attend the afterpass where they will be serving food is considered to be a feast? Am I allowed to be there? You could go to your father's funeral. You don't have to indulge in festivities, but you could go to pay your respects. Slide back up a little bit. A little. The other way, the other way, the other way. The other way. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's it. So let's pull out them videos of those criminals. These people are criminals, man. And it's crazy because before they started doing this, a lot of y'all was cheering them on like good. But it's going to come to your doorstep. You watch and see. A lot of you people that was cheering them on, y'all going to regret it. You hear they're arresting a correction officer. Like I said, I didn't put their image in the title because I didn't want YouTube to do what they did to me with the Charlie Kirk, because they're defending them now. They're changing legislation to defend them. Play that. Put it there up on the screen, please.
I'm a correctional officer at work in Kimberly County. What's wrong? I'm just coming from war. What's wrong? I never understand this. I don't have baby my license. I'm coming from war. My uniform is right there. No, I really disgrace to you, man. Where's the commission's over there? My uniform is right there. What's wrong? I work, you know what they say? I had an issue. I wouldn't be working with the government. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? I don't have
I don't know what's for
I'm responsible, I'm sorry. I'm just coming from club. Oh my God.
He's got a job, so they can't have that. Can't have productive members of society.
Now, what I like is when they started to do this, they said they're going after the criminals. Okay? It wasn't as much as they were trying to say that there was. Hey, I want the one where his boss responds. His boss, the people that hired him, said, this guy is here legally. He has right to work here. They said they're going after criminals. They rounded up a couple of people the first couple of weeks. Now they're going after anybody. Delete that one from there so y'all don't play it again. Okay, watch this, watch this. This is what his boss, who hired him, said. They said, we went through the screening process. This guy is here legitimately and legally to work. Put it from the beginning. We got the snow and the ice and coming and the ice already here. And you black people that was cheering them on because you hate Northern Kingdom, y'all gonna see I made a big mistake. You watch and see. This is what happened when you don't look at things through God's eyes. And you keep believing in this, the powers that be, like they're there for your good.
The video shows what appears to be federal agents detaining a corrections officer recruit in Portland, Maine. In the video, the man tells the agents he's coming from work and that he works for the government. The Cumberland County Sheriff confirmed the unidentified officer's detention during a press conference and says the recruit underwent a vigorous vetting and hiring process. The man is not a U.S. citizen, but his I-9 employment eligibility form indicated he was able to work in the U.S. until April 2029, according to the sheriff.
We covered our bases before we hired him. And it's me going out there saying that, you know what, I guess if you're not the card-carrying, U.S. citizen, then you must be illegal, because that's what they told me is he's illegal. And he's definitely not a criminal. So what part of him is illegal? I don't know. Every indication we found is that this was a squeaky clean individual that really hadn't done anything at all.
CNN has reached out to DHS for comment, but has not yet received a response. It is not immediately clear if the man is still in federal custody.
So this is just one of the incidents that occurred this week. Let's get to another one. Because remember, they said they're going after criminals, and y'all was like, yeah, get them out of here. What's going on, IT?
Developing now outrage from local leaders as a New York City Council worker is detained by ICE during a routine immigration appointment. Today, New York's Tracy Strahan's in the West Village now, where a rally will be held later today. Tracy.
Now, that rally is scheduled here outside of the ICE field offices for 12 o'clock today, and it comes as the city council speaker says that worker who's been detained by ICE should be released immediately. All of this unfolded yesterday afternoon in Bethpage as that worker actually attended an immigration hearing that was scheduled. City Council Speaker Julie Menin said that the Venezuelan national worked as a data analyst, and he reportedly had legal authorization to be in the United States through October of this year. She says that employee used the phone call that he was allowed to contact the City Council's HR department asking for help.
We are doing everything in our power to secure his immediate release. Federal officials have been insisting that the immigration crackdown is targeting the worst of the worst. But according to everything that we know, this man was here legally, and he was legally authorized to work in the United States. He, in fact, signed an attestation in January at the City Council that he has never been arrested.
So, as I said to you before, when they started this, they started showing media propaganda saying that there's criminals, there's drug dealers, there's everything. I'm not seeing no arrests of those people. What I'm seeing is people who've been working here with good jobs, who are productive citizens getting snatched up because the amount of people, they need to meet a quota. They already got out the people who they said that they was looking for that are undesirables. Now they snatching up everybody and anybody. Let it play.
And we heard from Mayor Zoran Mamdani on this on X saying, quote, "I am outraged to hear a New York City Council employee was detained." And he went on to say, quote, "This is an assault on our democracy, on our city, and on our values." We've reported on ICE officers arresting and detaining people when they go to these routine court hearings, but this is the first time that a city council member has been detained. And we've reached out to the Department of Homeland Security asking for the why behind this, trying to figure out why he was taken into custody. And so far, we haven't heard a response back. We're live in the West Village this morning. Tracy Strahan, Today in New York.
Let's get some more. I send you more video than that. Huh? Yes, pull them up. Yes, let's get that one there. I can't see what that disclaimer there up top. It says, Army vet detained by ICE for 8 hours, say he wasn't allowed to call an attorney. Press play.
To Minnesota, Pentagon officials say some 1,500 active duty Army paratroopers on alert as the federal government attempts to quell ongoing protests. DHS claiming it's arrested 10,000 alleged criminal illegal aliens, including 3,000 who they say are vicious murderers, rapists, and child pedophiles. It hasn't provided any evidence to support those claims thus far.
Pause it. You hear what she says? There's no evidence to support those claims. They keep telling us that to rally you people to say, yeah, get rid of them. Okay, but what we are seeing is them innocent people who've done nothing wrong. That's what we are seeing based on eyewitness footage of law-abiding citizens showing them what's going on. They keep saying they got all these bad guys, but we're not seeing video of them grabbing the bad guys. Okay, and this is what's perplexing to me now. Pull it back. Listen to what the lady says. Right there.
criminal illegal aliens, including 3,000 who they say are vicious murderers, rapists, and child pedophiles. It hasn't provided any evidence to support those claims thus far, and now multiple attorneys are attempting to represent those in custody, including at least one U.S. citizen accusing DHS of violating constitutional rights, saying they were barred from giving legal counsel. Our Matt Rivers is in the Twin Cities and joins me now for more. So, Matt, you've been speaking with some of those lawyers. What are they telling you?
Yeah, so we got a tip a few days ago, Kira, and we've been following up on it ever since. 4 separate attorneys have told us that they have had no luck when trying to gain access to their clients, who are among the thousands of people who DHS has detained since Operation Metro Surge began. All of this is happening at the federal building.
Y'all need to understand something. Because a lot of times, I remember when this was about to pop off, everybody said, make sure you got your lawyer's number on speed dial. Make sure you have your paperwork. They don't care. They don't care about your paperwork. They don't care about your lawyer. They're not giving you your right to due process. They don't care. So that's why I'm showing y'all these articles and these news reports, because you're thinking, yo, I'm good. I got my lawyer. You calling them up. You paid your money. You got your paperwork. They don't care.
This is war!
Okay? Because y'all think that everything is fair and balanced here. And you keep talking about this is not the America that I voted for. Okay? So what God is showing you is they don't care. Pull it back a little bit. A little bit. Little. Right there is good. Let it play.
Who DHS has detained since Operation Metro Surge began. All of this is happening at the Fed to gain access to their clients who are. We've got a tip a few days ago, Kira, and we've been following up on it ever.
More. I want before she switched to him. More. Right there.
Violating constitutional rights, saying they were barred from giving legal counsel.
So
Matt
it
Rivers
says
is in the Twin.
They were barred from getting legal counsel. Detained for hours, sometimes days. They're like, we don't care about your lawyer. It has to be someone that gave the order saying, don't let them contact their order. Don't let them make a phone call. It's a level of punishment now where you know when they snatch you up, you're going to be there wondering what's going on. When will I have a right to due process? What am I going to eat at that time? Where am I going to sleep? This is crazy. Let it play.
Counsel. Our Matt Rivers is in the Twin Cities and joins me now for more. So, Matt, you've been speaking with some of those lawyers. What are they telling you?
Yeah, so we got a tip a few days ago, Kira, and we've been following up on it ever since. 4 separate attorneys have told us that they have had no luck when trying to gain access to their clients, who are among the thousands of people who DHS has detained since Operation Metro Surge began. All of this is happening at the federal building, which has kind of become the de facto processing center for all these people that have been detained. What ends up happening is that these attorneys, they go down, they try to see their clients, and they're met with a variety of excuses. Sometimes they're not even given an excuse, but the fact of the matter is that under 5th and 6th Amendment protections, if you are detained, whether you're a legal citizen or not, you are entitled to legal protection. We actually spoke to someone earlier today, a war vet, a U.S. citizen who was picked up during some ICE protests. He said he was filming ICE. They didn't like that. They arrested him. They brought him to the federal building, and they did not give him access to an attorney, despite his attorney coming to the federal building and asking to see him. Here's a little bit of what he had to say.
Pause it. These are precious Caucasian people. Not doing nothing wrong, just filming. Like that precious white woman that was shot in her face, trying to drive away. If they don't care about their own people, when it comes to you, they're going to show y'all a different evil. If they shooting and arresting their own people, when it comes to you, they're going to have a new kind of evil. Pull it back a little bit. Let's listen to this educated man.
Was picked up during some ICE protests. He said he was filming ICE. They didn't like that. They arrested him. They brought him to the federal building, and they did not give him access to an attorney, despite his attorney coming to the federal building and asking to see him. Here's a little bit of what he had to say.
You feel like the fact that you were not granted the right to see a lawyer, even though you wanted to see one, is a violation of your rights?
Yes, I do, as I understand it. I mean, we're entitled to counsel. It's a part of the Bill of Rights.
Does he look like
even
a criminal?
if you're
He don't look like no criminal. Okay, he looks like a law-abiding, upstanding citizen. And they arrested him and refused to let him speak with his lawyer. Let it play.
illegally and you're a foreign national, you are also entitled to legal representation.
Why sit here and talk to me? Why go public?
I have
Y'all making him
I
cry.
have privilege.
He's crying now. Y'all bringing this man to tears. These are white tears. You think they care about your black tears? Let it play. Let's hear what the precious white man got to say.
Why sit here and talk to me? Why go public?
I have privilege. You know, I was medically retired. I'm a combat vet. I'm white. I'm middle class.
You hear what he said?
If I can't,
he said, I'm white. I am white. I'm middle class. I'm a good guy. Okay? So this is America. Let it play. He said, I'm white. Why is this happening to me? I am white. With emphasis on the W. White. Let it play.
I have privilege. You know, I was medically retired. I'm a combat vet. I'm white. I'm middle class. If I can't advocate for people who need it, then who else is going to do it? Who else is going to stand up?
So what I like
and
about
speak
this
truth?
is they're saying that there's no racism in America. And he's saying that he's advocating for the brown people, the people who are not white. And what America is showing us is, look, we don't care about you and we don't want to hear about you. Even if our own kind interfere, we don't want to hear. Let it play.
So what he's talking about there are the people, the other people that he was basically detained with, who are migrants, who, whether they're in the country legally or not, he's basically saying, look, the way that DHS is operating in this town is something that he does not agree with. He also wanted to talk about the fact that constitutional rights are being violated, even if it means that, you know, he knows in this day and age, if he goes public, he might get targeted, Kira, online or otherwise, but he still wants to do it.
So the Justice Department is also investigating after anti-ICE protesters disrupted this church service in Minneapolis. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so a couple dozen protesters went into this church service on Sunday where the pastor of that church they believed was an ICE official. And so they went into this church service while services were going on, and they disrupted the service. This gives you an idea of the tension in Minneapolis, that some of these protesters are so upset with ICE that they would be willing to do something like this in a church, which generally, you know, both sides can kind of agree these are sacred spaces, and yet they still went in there anyway, and it became quite tense between parishioners, the pastor, the protesters.
Stop it. It's just amazing how the world is now, where everybody comes up to you with a phone in their hand. I mean, this new generation wouldn't understand where we came from. This is just, it's just crazy. Everybody got their phone out now, and everybody recording. That's all you see inside the church when they walked in, because the leader of this church is an ICE official. And it's all precious white people in there with their phones out, making sure that they record what they talking about. And this is a man of the church. This is a good Christian that's leading the charge on the discharge of you people that they say don't belong here. Let it play. Look at her holding
church
her
service
phone.
while services were going on, and they disrupted the service. This gives you an idea of the tension in Minneapolis, that some of these protesters are so upset with ICE that they...
Look at all them phones. Everybody got their phone up. Let it play.
willing to do something like this in a church, which generally, both sides can kind of agree these are sacred spaces, and yet they still went in there anyway, and it became quite tense between parishioners, the pastor, the protesters. We reached out to the St. Paul Police Department. A spokesperson said, quote, "The St. Paul Police Department is actively investigating this incident as a disorderly conduct investigation, but wouldn't provide any more information because it's an ongoing investigation." Kara.
Matt Rivers, glad we have you there. We'll be talking again tomorrow. Now back here at home, the U.S. military on standby for possible deployment to
What else we got? What else we got? I gave y'all some more. Nope. Y'all get your tissue out for this one. Put it up. It says 5-year-old asylum seeker detained as ICE expands enforcement in Minnesota. His name is Liam Conejo Ramos, 5 years old. Look at little Liam. Look at the trauma that he's going through for the rest of his life. Let it play.
This morning, an immigration attorney insists Liam Conejo Ramos, the 5-year-old seen here being detained by ICE, entered the United States legally.
These are not illegal aliens. They came properly, they came legally and are pursuing a legal pathway.
Ramos and his father were detained Tuesday. The Department of Homeland Security saying the father is an illegal alien from Ecuador, but an attorney says that is not true.
Liam and his dad did enter the United States.
Pause it. That's why I said a lot of y'all think you safe just because you got your lawyer. The lawyer came and they're not listening to them. So this is the pattern that I've been noticing. Well, even though you're retaining legal representation, you're paying all your money, they don't care what your lawyer got to say. Let it play.
Pathway.
Ramos and his father were detained Tuesday. The Department of Homeland Security saying the father is an illegal alien from Ecuador, but an attorney says that is not true.
Liam and his dad did enter the United States at a port of entry to seek asylum. They've shared all of their information with the government, and they were following the process.
DHS says the father fled on foot as agents approached, claiming the man abandoned his son and saying agents tried to place Liam with his mother, but she refused to take him.
Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death?
In Minneapolis yesterday, Vice President Vance said the agents were protecting the boy. But school officials who claim to witness the incident say agents essentially used the 5-year-old as bait, directing him to knock on the door to see if anyone else was home before taking him away. And witnesses claim multiple people, including the boy's mother, offered to take him.
There was another adult who lived in the home that was there saying, "I will take the child, I will take the child."
The school district says Liam is among 4 students recently detained. He and his father were flown to a detention facility in Texas.
Renee, good.
Meanwhile, a civil rights attorney and at least 2 other people involved in this anti-ICE protest during a Minnesota church service have now been arrested. The protest was aimed at the pastor who works for ICE. Many local businesses plan to close today, part of an economic protest of the immigration crackdown. Vice President Vance calling for calm.
Yes, come out and protest. Protest me. Protest our immigration policy, but do it peacefully.
As for that civil rights attorney who was arrested, the White House shared an altered version of this photo of her arrest. The version the White House shared, which we are not airing, shows the woman sobbing and her skin darkened. The White House.
Now, I was trying to find that video. Put it back. Put it back. They photoshopped an image of her to make her look darker than what she is. That's how it's caught my eyes. In the news report that I watched, someone photoshopped the image to make her look real dark. So they were asking, why does she look like that in the photo? Okay? That's what people were complaining about. That someone literally took time to blur out his face and then Photoshop what her face looked like. But I couldn't find that article. See if y'all can find it. What's her name? Slide it down. Let me see her name. They don't put her name there. Put it back to the video for a minute. I want to see something. Put it back 1 minute, whole minute. Let it play from there. Let it play from not that far back. Just let it play. Let it play. Let it play.
Recently detained, he and his father were flown to a detention facility in Texas.
Renee, good.
Meanwhile, a civil rights attorney and at least 2 other people involved in this anti-ICE protest during a Minnesota church service have now been arrested. The protest was aimed at
all Caucasian people there. Ain't no blackity black people there because they would have shot the church up and burned it. So they got to be careful how they move. Even though they shot that precious white woman in the face, this is just too much white people here for y'all to just roll up like it's a black ghetto church.
Who works for ICE. Many local businesses plan to close today, part of an economic protest of the immigration crackdown. Vice President Vance calling for calm.
Yes, come out and protest. Protest me. Protest our immigration policy, but do it peacefully.
As for that civil rights attorney who was arrested, the White House shared an altered version of this photo of her arrest. The version the White House shared.
Back it up a little. Just a little bit. Let it play.
The version the White House shared, which we are not airing, shows the woman's altered version of this photo of her arrest. The version the White House shared, which we are not airing, altered version of this photo of her arrest.
Not to the same
The version
point.
the White. As for that civil rights attorney who was arrested, the White House shared
Now
an
put
altered
civil
version
rights
of.
attorney arrested. Maybe if we could see it. And picture Photoshop. Let me see Google. Take it off. Take it off. Let me see Google. Click it out. Civil rights attorney arrested. Face Photoshop. Fix a search that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. You have to put, it says jobs. Put arrested. Let's see the arrest first. Take that out. Put her name. Click that one right there. Up top to the right. Nakima Levy Armstrong. Press play. Yes, this is where I saw it. I saw it on Democracy Now! So this is it, yes. Let it play.
This is Democracy.
I don't know where it is. Do you know where it is in the video?
Now, Democracy Now!
Y'all could search it, but it shows her. This is where I saw it. I think, didn't it show her in the article? Maybe it'll start from there.
Rhythm of Love by Ahmet Ali Arslan. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Outrage is growing in Columbia Heights, Minnesota, after ICE agents detained a 5-year-old boy named Liam Ramos and his father, who's an asylum seeker. Photos from the scene show a masked agent standing next to Liam, who is wearing a backpack and a blue winter hat with bunny ears. He just returned from preschool. The father and son were then quickly sent to a detention facility in Texas. On Thursday, Vice President J.D. Vance went to Minneapolis and defended ICE for targeting the boy's father and detaining the preschooler.
So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death?
Local officials in Columbia Heights condemn the detention of 5-year-old Liam. Rachel James serves on Columbia Heights City Council. She described efforts by neighbors to protect the boy.
I heard one neighbor say, I live in this house. I'm part of this family. I can take him. Let him come to me. I heard another neighbor on the other side say, I have the forms. His mom signed the forms. Let me have him. I know him. I know him. I kept saying, stop, wait. He can go with us. He can go with the teachers. And then they took him over to the car, and he was just standing there. And then they quickly put him in the back seat and drove away.
On Thursday, the lawyer for the Ramos family, Mark Prokash, said Liam and his father had come to the U.S. in 2024 from Ecuador to seek asylum.
Liam and his dad did enter the United States at a port of entry to seek asylum through the CBP One app at the Brownsville border crossing. So they did everything right when they came in. They used the app, they made an appointment, they came to the border and presented themselves to Customs and Border Patrol. They've shared all of their information with the government, and they were following the process. They were just trying to secure safety and persecution for their family from their home country. But ICE didn't care about the fact that they had those pending claims and then just arrested them.
This comes as hundreds of businesses are expected to close today as part of an economic blackout to protest the surge of ICE agents in Minnesota. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But first, we're getting an update on how the prominent Minneapolis civil rights attorney, activist, and ordained minister Nakima Levy-Armstrong and 2 others were arrested on federal charges for their role in peacefully protesting inside a St. Paul church where one of the pastors, David Easterwood, also leads the local ICE field office in the Twin Cities area.
David Easterwood is a pastor here. He is also the director of the field office for ICE in St. Paul. So someone who claims to worship God, teaching people in this church about God, is out there overseeing ICE agents.
The activists involved in the protests now face charges under the FACE Act. That's the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, a law written to protect abortion clinics. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced Levy-Armstrong's arrest. Then the White House posted an AI-generated image to make it appear Levy-Armstrong was crying after arrest. The Justice Department also attempted to bring charges against the journalist and former CNN anchor Don Lemon, who covered the church protests, but a federal magistrate judge rejected the request. We go now to Minneapolis, where we're joined by Jordan Kushner, civil rights and criminal defense attorney who is helping to represent Nakima.
It's an AI-generated image of her. Can we just bring it back a little bit to show you how racist these people are? To show you how evil these people are, as God says. They manipulated the image so that the world could see her differently from what she really is. Yes?
Former CNN anchor Don Lemon, who covered peacefully protesting inside a St. Paul church where
Said
one of
she
the
was
pastors,
peacefully protesting.
David Easterwood, also leads the local ICE field office
Take
in
my
the
picture off.
Twin Cities area.
David Easterwood is a pastor here. He is also the director of the field office for ICE in St. Paul. So someone who claims to worship God, teaching people in this church about God, is out there overseeing ICE agents.
Yeah, he's a Christian. He's a Christian. He's a born-again Christian, and he's saved. Let it play.
Involved in the protests now face charges under the FACE Act. That's the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, a law written to protect abortion clinics. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced Levy Armstrong's arrest. Then the White House posted an AI-generated image.
So the White House did this. The White House altered the image. Okay? Because when I saw this before, this is not the one that I saw, but when I saw this before, they were asking them, why did you take time? Who sat down? There's a council saying, don't put the arrest the way it happened. Let's alter the picture. And I'm telling y'all this because they're going to do it to us also. And you people are leave it. Okay? This is what I was looking at this week that I was like, how can be? This is the White House altered the picture to give a different perception of what took place and to put her in a bad light. They altered the picture. Let it play, let it play, let it play.
Here, Levy Armstrong was crying after arrest. The Justice Department also attempted to bring charges against the journalist and former CNN anchor Don Lemon, who covered the church protests, but a federal magistrate judge rejected the request. We go now to Minneapolis, where we're joined by Jordan Kushner, civil rights and criminal defense attorney who is helping to represent Nekima. We thank you so much for being with us, Jordan. If you can start off, you were with her when she was arrested, is that right? Can you talk about the AI-generated image? Can you talk about her saying that she would turn herself in, but they said no, because they said they were after her over the last few days, and what she was doing in that church?
That's correct. Although the arrest was a horrible ordeal, she was and some other people in her group were staying in a hotel. A group of FBI and Homeland Security agents busted into the hotel the night before her arrest. Roughed people up. They were thrown out by the management. Later on at 3 a.m, someone left Nekima Levy Armstrong's room. The agents tackled her violently and took her to a detention facility before they realized that she wasn't Nekima Levy Armstrong. So she was obviously terrified about turning herself in. A legal team, including myself, went to the hotel that morning. We reached out to agents to try to arrange for her to turn herself in voluntarily at the federal courthouse, which was only about 6 blocks away. They put the U.S. attorney for the District of Minnesota, a Trump appointee, Dan Rosen, he called me himself. I made my request to him. He said it was very reasonable and he was just going to call me back in a few minutes with the specific logistics. Then he calls back and says, oh, we're not going to let her turn herself in. We need to arrest her at the hotel. So she needs to voluntarily
y'all see his
leave the
hat?
hotel room.
Y'all saw the front of his hat? Take my picture off. I'm not saying it, but his hat is displaying it. Keep playing it.
Oh, we're not going to let her turn herself in. We need to arrest her at the hotel. So she needs to voluntarily leave the hotel room and turn herself in. So after he talked to his bosses in D.C., he had completely reneged on his commitment. They then sent agents up there to the hotel room.
So you see the underhandedness? They want a photo op set up for how they arrest her and bring her in. Everything is being calculated from the top up, how this is going to play out. Let it play.
To arrest her, one of the agents was filming the arrest. As they put her in handcuffs, he was filming it on his cell phone. I've never seen anything like that. They have body cameras. This was completely unprofessional. He said he was just doing it because of instructions, and he promised it wasn't going to go on Twitter. Nevertheless, it went on Twitter. It went on the Department of Justice's Twitter, so this was their trophy. And then, as you said, the White House subsequently altered the video to make it look like she was crying.
Wow.
I observed the whole arrest.
Y'all hear that? This is the highest level of government. These are supposed to be law-abiding representation of what America is. Could you take my picture down and stop covering the lady's face? This is supposed to be the highest level of government. The standard of what equal rights is. But they manipulated a picture to present her in a different light to the public. If you're doing everything by the book and you're doing things according to the law for the people, you wouldn't do that. Who sat down? What's the official in office saying, don't just let the arrest come out as it unfolded? Manipulate it. Who's sitting there? Who's sitting in the seat that's making these orders? Alter her photo to give a different perception to the public. That man of perdition is being revealed. Everything we're saying about this Bible, y'all seeing it now. Y'all seeing it now. Let it play.
It was dignified, rational, calm, and reasonable the whole time. It just shows the complete political motivation of the government in making this a circus. This has nothing to do with enforcing the law. It has nothing to do with protecting anyone's religious rights. It's frankly just about fascism. And fascism means part of that is that the government makes their own narrative. They invent reality, and they're literally doing that with an AI video. And so what this is about, yeah.
And Jordan, I wanted to ask you if you could talk about the charge that that she's been arrested on, and basically a statute that has its roots in the Reconstruction era, and to prosecute members of the KKK for terrorizing Black Americans.
Yeah, she's charged with conspiracy to violate civil rights, or conspiracy to violate constitutional rights of other people. Namely, the claim is that by protesters going into a church to raise objections to how this church conducted its business, with Nikema Levy-Armstrong being a reverend herself, that somehow deprived the people in the church of their right to freedom of worship. It is a farce. It was passed to really protect people's constitutional rights. That's what she's charged with. The government also sought to charge her with another offense under the FACE Act, which involved, obstruction of someone else's exercise of their religious practices. The magistrate refused to sign on to that charge. So we're left with the conspiracy to violate constitutional rights. This was an exercise of free speech. They were exercising their own constitutional rights. It's unheard of for people to be charged with a criminal offense for a free speech protest like that. That's a legal, peaceful protest.
Jordan, yeah. I was just watching Right Reverend Craig Loya, who's the 10th Bishop of the Episcopal Church in Minnesota. He talked about what's happening, the immigration crackdown, as a campaign of reckless cruelty. He refused to condemn what Nikema had done, said that it's time, and we've seen this with the Catholic bishops as well, saying it's time for us to, he said, put our bodies on the line. I want to end just by saying we wanted to have Nikema on this morning, but she's still not out of jail. We have 10 seconds.
Yeah, the magistrate ordered her release. The government did a maneuver where they appealed. So it's being reviewed by a judge and waiting for a judge decision about whether she's going to be released. So the government used more manipulative tactics to keep her in jail when there was no basis whatsoever. No one is detained on a case like this.
I want to thank you very much for being with us. Others arrested included Shantil Louisa Allen, a St. Paul school board member, and activist William Kelly. Jordan Kushner, thanks so much for being with us. Civil rights and criminal defense attorney representing Nakima Levy Armstrong, who's still in jail after being arrested.
We could take that one off. We could take that one off. This is crazy. Why would the White House manipulate the arrest? Who's sitting in the driver's seat? How do you trust people that think like this? This is crazy. What else we got, man? Let it play. They brought homeboy out with no shirt. In his drawers. They wouldn't even let him get his clothes. No, I think this one is the Gadite guy. Is this the one they brought out with no clothes? Let it play.
And everything just happened real fast.
Peter Yazzie says he was on his way to work last week when ICE agents stopped him at a gas station in Peoria.
They just started yelling orders, what to do, and complied with them until after I was down on the ground and zip-tied. That's when they told me who they were.
Yazzie says he tried to prove he's a U.S. citizen, telling agents he had documents in his car, including his certificate of Indian blood, driver's license, and birth certificate. He was still detained.
So he had all his paperwork, and they did not care. Because like I said, they're trying to meet a quota. And then when they get you in the system, they don't want to hear from your lawyer. Could y'all take my picture off there, please? They don't care about your lawyer. They don't care about your paperwork. They don't care about presenting the arrest as it happens. As we saw from the White House, they're manipulating the actual account of what took place when the arrest happened. This is crazy. Let it play.
Made the remark about my kids, saying that they're going to get them next.
We first reached out to ICE and DHS last week by email to ask about Yazzie's case and what forms of ID Native Americans need to identify themselves. We have not heard back. DHS did previously defend its operations, telling us enforcement officers have recently arrested more than 3,000 illegal aliens.
That's all they keep saying. That's all they keep saying. We arrested 3,000 pedophiles, criminals, and killers. They're not showing that, but this is what we are seeing. This is why they want to control TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. They want to control all the independent influencers and media so that the narrative could be painted for something different. This is what it's leading up to. Pay attention. Let it play.
Anything, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing why it's happening.
Tribal leaders say the incident highlights a need for tribal IDs that federal agents will accept.
I think it reaffirms that ICE continue to operate outside of the bounds of the law.
State Rep Brian Garcia says his Paswakia tribe is working with the Department of Homeland Security to secure real IDs for members. Native leaders warn a certificate of Indian blood may not be enough during enforcement.
Right now it is being challenged and it's being questioned.
Navajo Nation leaders say there's an urgent need to issue tribal IDs, but right now their Office of Vital Records can't do that due to halted contract funding. The president and the council speaker are both pushing to get that funding approved immediately.
Yes, it's a safety issue. It's a mental health issue.
Yazzie says although he only spent 4 hours in ICE detention, the experience is something that will stick.
It feels like something's being ripped out of you. Kind of like you're being treated like you're vermin or like you're a stray dog that's not wanted.
Yeah, we don't need to read it. I want the other man that they didn't even let him put his clothes on. Yes. Let it play. It's snow.
The point they got to me and my daughter-in-law, and then they told me to come out here without my clothes on.
Look at that. They just bust his door like nothing. Look at him holding the guns.
They didn't say anything.
He don't got no
wrong.
snow boots, no
They
shirt.
tried to take a photo of me, but I didn't want to, right? And then they drove me all the way to Minneapolis, I don't know where, and we stopped middle of nowhere. My son grabbed my ID, showing to them. They just said, "Okay, you're good." So they freed me. Yeah. And they didn't say anything. They didn't say sorry or anything. They just, "Okay, you're good." They just left.
Wow. Yeah, I just sent you another video. I just sent you another video. Because usually I'll be like, do you have a warrant? Do you have a warrant? No, they changed that. They don't need no warrant no more. Delete all the other ones so you're not pulling up things that we already saw. But put the other one that I just showed you. You could take that one out. I don't want to see that one. Let me see what else you got. We played that already. That's the correction officer. We're going to save this one for last, that one there. I don't want her either. Yeah, we're not going to use that. Just play the video I just sent you. Let me see the chat while y'all looking for the video. Take that banner off. Listen to this guy, because y'all saying, y'all be like, show me a warrant. You don't have to show no warrant no more. They changed the law.
So now they don't need a warrant to come inside your house. So let's play this out. A group of individuals shows up at your front door in the middle of the night, and they're masked. They knock the door down because they can. You have a decision to make. Do you believe they're law enforcement, or do you not? So you don't, and you defend your family. But it escalates, gets out of control. And then it turns out that it was law enforcement, and you've now seriously injured a couple of federal agents, and maybe your family members are injured as well. Now what? Or the first scenario is you believe it's law enforcement, so you comply, right? And soon thereafter, you realize that it's not, when your entire family is tied up. You realize that it's just a group of individuals that took the opportunity that was handed to them on a silver platter. Looking at your family all tied up, you understand that they can do whatever they want with your family, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you still want me to believe that this is what you voted for. Because I don't believe that one bit.
That's for you black people talking about go out and vote. What he's explaining to you is your vote means nothing. Nothing. This is what we've been telling y'all for years. Okay? You have officials in office that don't care about your rights. This is what we've been telling y'all for years. Now put the other article that you showed. Put that up. Because y'all thinking, when is this going to stop? Okay.
Now senior advisor for U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Ron Vitello, also the former chief of the U.S. Border Patrol and retired acting director of ICE. Ron, nice to see you. Thanks for being back with us. Let's start with that possibility of 1,500 military members coming into Minnesota. How real is that?
I think it's real that the unit, as per the Department of War, is on standby. They've given them a warning order in case they have to go to Minnesota. They're obviously from Alaska, so they're going to have the right gear to have on the ground there. It's a conditions-based decision that the president will make. You know, what's the policy? What are the operations demand? And so if they need this additional help, like we did in Los Angeles to protect the men and women of the front line while they do their job, this may be an appropriate use of the military.
What would be the tipping point?
I think it's conditions-based. If these protests and people call them protests, but if the rioting continues,
he said they're not protests, they're rioters. They're having military on standby. Because y'all think, yeah, let's all come together, let's get together and let's go out there. They said, okay, you come out there. We don't care if you're law-abiding citizens. We're going to send military out there. Because people are believing that you have rights. They're showing you you don't have rights even if you're white. Let it play.
Impedance continues. If these people continue to get in the way and harm the front line while they're trying to do their job, I think that's when they're going to pull the trigger.
How much longer do you expect ICE to be there on the ground in Minneapolis?
Until the job's done. There's at least 1,300 people in custody in Minneapolis and the surrounding area that are also in the country illegally. They're in custody of state and local authorities. And so there's lots of the criminal element that's in the Minneapolis area. And so when that is abated in a dramatic way, when those criminals are in custody of the U.S. government on a path for removal, then things will subside there.
So could it be months?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it could be a long time. This could get better immediately if the state and local officials put their hand out and ask ICE to come into these institutions to help identify the criminal element that's also in the country illegally and work directly with ICE to get them removed.
So, Kristi Noem, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security today, posting this, saying we've arrested over 10,000 criminal illegal aliens who are killing Americans, hurting children, raining terror in Minneapolis. I'm looking at some of the people that she mentioned. Convicted of criminal sexual conduct, sexual abuse of a minor, sexual assault. And America gets behind that, right? America wants to see those people, those illegal immigrants out of here, right? But then you see a scene like this. Let me play it real quick and then we'll pick it up on the other side. That was the other day, and I'm looking at Ron. Approval with the president on immigration, it was at 50% in February, just hovering around 40%, 41% right now. Why are you losing the American public?
I'm not sure we are losing the American public. I think
the numbers show it, though.
Okay, so a poll in a certain point in time all the academia, Hollywood, we saw what Hollywood said about it. The local officials are not helping. It's very difficult for the front line to do what they do out there. And so, yeah, there's a conflict there. There's a problem with the people that are on the ground. But look at the success that they've had. Thousands of illegal immigrants who are also criminals arrested in that AOR. The border looks better as it relates to conditions and entries than it's ever has in my entire career. I've been doing this for like 40 years. 0 releases for the last 9 months in the United States.
The polling on the border is different from the execution, though, of ICE. Execution of how ICE is handling things.
But you'll remember when we talked about what was happening in Del Rio, when 18,000 people all tried to come in to the United States under the bridge in Del Rio all at one time. People were just as upset then, probably a lot more upset. If we don't react to what happened in the previous 4-year invasion, then what are we going to do? We're going to step back from this. We're not going to have a country that we know what it looks like.
Ron Vitello, Senior Advisor, Customs and Border Protection. Always appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
All right, you can take that off. So I just wanted y'all to show, y'all, while we're dealing with the snow and ice, we're dealing with ice. You can get my chat back. Take the banner out. Slide down a little bit. I want to see something the other way. Hey, that. Slide down some more. Give me the Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1. Because y'all saying, why is all this happening?
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard.
Because the Lord refers to his chosen people as a vineyard. He always uses plants and agriculture as similitudes and allegories to describe the nation of Israel. He calls us trees. He calls us plants. He calls us leaves. Okay? He calls us olive trees. He calls us his vine. Keep reading.
My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof.
So he's talking about how you take care of a vineyard. You fence it. You take anything out that will hinder its growth. Read on.
And planted it with the choicest vine.
And you plant it with the best vines. You take care of it, your vineyard. Read on.
And built a tower in the midst of it.
And he put a tower in the midst of his vineyard.
And also made a winepress therein.
And made a winepress.
And
he bring forth grapes. Read on.
And he looked that it should bring forth grapes.
So he looked at the vineyard so it could bring forth grapes. The nation of Israel to bring forth grapes. That's why he was cultivating the vineyard and pruning it and doing the things that someone does that deals with agriculture. Read on.
And it brought forth wild grapes.
But it brought forth wild grapes. That's what he's saying with the Israelites in allegory or similitude or metaphor or parable. That Israel brought forth wild grapes after God nurtured the Israelites. Read on.
And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard.
So judge between me and my vineyard, between God and the people.
what could have been done more to my vineyard?
God is saying, what more could I have done for you?
That I have not done in it.
That I have not done to take care of you.
Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes? And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof.
So he said, no more protection. You're seeing what happened when God doesn't protect the people anymore. Read on.
And it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down.
So the vineyard gets destroyed when God sees it as void. He wants nothing to do with it anymore. Read on.
And I will lay it waste, and it shall not be pruned, nor digged. But there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it.
So he said, I'll even hold back the rain so that the vineyard is affected by no rain. Read on.
For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel.
So now he makes it clear. The vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel. Read on.
And the men of Judah, his pleasant plant.
The men of Judah, the pleasant plant. Because remember, the Israelites were split into two kingdoms. You had Judah, which is Benjamin and Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And then the other tribes is Israel. Read on.
And he looked for judgment, but behold,
there's
oppression.
No judgment amongst the Israelites. Everybody's lawless and doing whatever they feel is right in their own eyes. Read on.
And he looked for judgment, but behold, oppression. For righteousness, but behold, a cry.
Nobody's keeping the laws, and we are dealing in oppression.
Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place.
Because all we're talking about is expanding, but not listening to what God is commanding. So he says, woe unto them that join house to house and field to field, so that there's no place. All we cared about is expanding and not listening to what God is commanding. Read on.
That they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. In mine ears, said the Lord of hosts, of a truth many houses shall be desolate.
So God said, I'm going to destroy your houses. Read on.
Even great and fair without inhabitant.
Because some of y'all put more care into your house and not the house of God. You care more about your personal house than the house of God. Read.
Yea, 10 acres of vineyard shall yield one bath.
You got 10 acres and you're expecting a lot of produce, but you're getting very little. That's how our lives are right now. Read on.
And the seed of an homer shall yield an ephah. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine inflame them.
Okay, that's the way we are. We're following, because wine is also synonymous to philosophies, but some of y'all do get up drinking in the morning like it's party time. Y'all get up drinking and smoking and living your best life every day. That's all y'all wake up to do. Read on.
And the harp and the viol.
Then you got your music, the harp and the viol, while you drinking and smoking and partying.
The tabret and the pipe and wine.
All those things are used to make music. Read on.
Are in their feasts.
Are in your feast. You eating, drinking, partying, listening to music like it's all good in the hood.
But they regard not the work of the Lord.
You're not paying attention to God's work.
Neither consider the operation of his hands.
You don't care about the operation of God's hand. And that's what we see, especially in the clubhouse when I question the people. They don't care about God. They don't care about this Bible. That's why a lot of times I'll interrupt the moderator. I'll be like, does he believe in God? Get him off the stage. You got a lot of people that regard not the operation of the Lord. And that's why God got to turn it up before he burn it up.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity.
So God says we're going to go into captivity because we regard not the operation of the Lord. Read on.
Because they have no knowledge.
We're trying to give y'all knowledge, and y'all don't want the knowledge. So God is going to turn it up before he burn it up. Eventually, this place is going to get burned up. But things got to get turned up. Read on.
And their honorable men are famished.
We don't have no honorable men to talk to you. So that's why God put the prophets in place, the men of the Lord in place.
And their multitude dried up with thirst.
The people are thirsty for answers, for justice, for results, and we're not getting it.
Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself.
So hell is our condition. It's getting bigger. That's what you're seeing with the ICE. That's what you're seeing with the legislation. That's what you're seeing with the government. That's what you're seeing with the food, with your community, with the evil, with the violence, with the depravity of men, the immorality of men. We're in hell already, and it's getting bigger. We're in a physical hell, and then there's a hell that God is going to send you to when you die to deal with your spirit. But right now, we're in a physical hell. And that's why you're not seeing no justice, no peace. You're not seeing things work by the book. Even if you got your paperwork, even if you got your lawyer, they don't care. Read on.
Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure. And their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it.
God is creating conditions because we refuse to follow his mission so that we descend into hell. When things go bad, just give it time. It's coming to your doorsteps. This is what the bishop been warning you about. They don't feel ashamed and they ain't accepting no blame, especially since they don't care about God's name.
And the mean man shall be brought down.
And you mean men shall be brought down. You men that go against God, this stuff is happening to humble you. Read on.
And the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. But the Lord of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and God that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness. Then shall the lambs feed after their manner, and the waste places of the fat ones shall strangers
while things
eat.
are going wrong, we're exalting God in righteousness. What verse was that?
That was verse 16, sir.
Read on.
Then shall the lambs feed after their manner, and the waste places of the fat ones shall strangers eat. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity.
You're pulling sin to you. You're drawing iniquity with a cord and your vanity.
And sin as it were with a cart rope. That say.
It's like you got sin on a rope. Read on.
That say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come.
Let God do what he wants. We want to see what God is going to do.
That we may know it. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Because a lot of y'all were on board with what the powers that be is doing. And you said it was good. And God is going to show you that it's evil. And in you seeing that it's evil, it's going to bring forth your destruction. That's why it says what?
Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Because we've been telling you that this system is evil, but you still want to roll with those people. So eventually God says, woe unto you, because you call evil good. You're not listening to us. Read on.
That put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him.
So we're seeing wickedness be rewarded. And the righteousness, the people are doing things by the book, they're under attack. Read on.
Therefore, as the fire devours the stubble, and the flame consumeth the shaft, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as dust.
And that's what we're seeing with the powers that be. Their root is rottenness. Read on.
Because they have cast away the law of the Lord of hosts.
This is happening because we're not following God's laws. So these people are making up their own laws. They're doing whatever they want. They don't care about you and they don't want to hear about you.
And despise the word of the Holy One of Israel.
Because we despise the word of the Holy One of Israel. That's why these conditions exist.
Therefore is the anger of the Lord kindled against his people. And he hath stretched forth his hand against them, and hath smitten them. And the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets.
We're going to get torn up in the middle of the streets as society breaks down, as everything falls apart, because we wasn't keeping God's laws from the start.
For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. And he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth. And behold, they shall come with speedy swiftly. None shall be weary nor stumble among them. None shall slumber nor sleep.
And that's how these people are coming in with their attack against us. It's coming brutal, forceful, and aggressive. You're not stopping them. They're arresting anybody and anyone who gets in their way. They showing y'all they ain't come here to play.
None shall slumber nor sleep. Neither shall the girdle of their loins be loosed, nor the latchet of their shoes be broken, whose arrows are sharp, and all their bows, and all their bows bent. Their horses' hoofs shall be counted
So
like
they coming
flint.
with weapons. They coming masked up, bulletproof vests, everything. Read on.
And their wheels like a whirlwind. Their roaring shall be like a lion. They shall roar like young lions. Yea, they shall roar and lay hold of the prey, and shall carry it away safe, and none shall deliver it.
Nobody ain't going to come and stop these people till God says enough. This is God talking about, you don't regard the operation of my hand, you're going to have to deal with the plan of an evil man.
And in that day they shall roar against them like the roaring of the sea. And if one look unto the land, behold, darkness and sorrow, and the light is darkened in the heavens thereof. That's the end of the chapter, D.
Okay? That's what y'all have awaiting you. Darkness and sorrow, because you didn't want to listen to the Lord. He's talking about sending the enemy against you. Get Psalms 54, verse 20.
Psalm chapter 54 and verse 20. No, there's no 20, D.
$94 and 20. I'm sorry.
Psalm chapter 94 and verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fell?
That's what this government is, the throne of iniquity. Read on.
Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee?
They're not here to fellowship with you in righteousness and what God holds forth as how men should conduct themselves. Read on.
Which frameth mischief by a law?
They're changing the laws. Okay? Because God is showing you what type of people they are. They're going to change the laws. And y'all going to wish that y'all would have listened to God. Read on.
They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous.
Even when you're doing the right thing, they don't want to hear it. Because they said they're going after criminals, but they're going after people now who are doing things by the book. Read on.
And condemn the innocent blood.
And you could be not doing anything. They will condemn you. They're arresting politicians, congressmen, people who feel that things are not right. They don't care. They don't care if you're innocent. It means nothing. They don't care. I got my ID. I got my paperwork. Can I put my shirt on? That's a little boy. You're going to shoot a woman in the face? They don't care. And this is what God is showing you.
But the Lord is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge.
And that's what this class is to show you. When things go wrong, our God is strong. He says, the Lord is my defense. Read it again.
But the Lord is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge.
And that's what y'all need to see when things are going, because it's a lot of stuff going on in the news, a lot of stuff in the social media, and a lot of y'all are getting scared. And that's why we're here. Eventually, God is going to step in. That's why Christ says in Luke chapter 21, verse 19, reader.
Luke chapter 21, verse 19. In your patience possess ye your souls.
You got to be patient while all this is happening. Because if you lose control, you'll destroy your soul. So that's why Christ said, in your patience possess ye your soul. A lot of y'all waiting for cooler heads to prevail. It's not going to happen. Destruction is coming. And things are going to get bad before it gets better. So that's why Christ said, in your patience possess ye your soul. Now let's switch to what's going on with this weather. People are nervous. People are scared. Play that video. Okay. They had the nerve to tell me at work, please don't put your phone on Do Not Disturb. We may need you. We have everybody on standby. We need all hands on deck. I said, I'll think about it. Because when I need a day off, it's like fighting tooth and nail to get a day off. Let me see the chat if y'all don't have the video.
Tonight, with what forecasters are now warning will be a potentially catastrophic, crippling winter storm about to hit.
Catastrophic. I never heard that with a storm. Catastrophic. And it's covering a vast amount of land. Catastrophic. Let him speak.
With what forecasters are now warning will be a potentially catastrophic, crippling winter storm about to hit. Multiple states across the south, the east, and right up into the northeast. The massive system expected to stretch 2,000 miles, tens of millions of Americans already under alert for heavy snow, ice, freezing rain, and brutal cold. This will move through Oklahoma, Texas, across the south, right into the Carolinas before reaching right up into the northeast. There are watches already up tonight. They are talking of more than a foot of snow and ice in some places that rarely see this. It comes amid heavy snow already. Drivers near Buffalo, New York, wind chills in the teens and 20s from Minneapolis to New York to Maine. And tonight, with this new and massive storm set to hit, major airlines already, including Delta and United, issuing travel waivers for passengers ahead of the storm. There's real concern that with this ice, there could be significant power outages with these brutal temperatures moving in. Lee Goldberg has the forecast. He'll take us through this day by day. And ABC Stephanie Ramos leading us off with the warnings from authorities already tonight.
Tonight, the National Weather Service warning millions to prepare for what could be the most crippling storm in years. The system, fueled by Gulf moisture from the south and supercharged by some of the coldest air of the season, will stretch some 2,000 miles. It will bring feet of snow and ice to millions. Airlines already waiving rebooking fees, anticipating chaos at the airports. Dallas bracing for days of bitter cold.
We're talking freezing temperatures for at least 60 to 65 hours consecutively. That means the weekend will be freezing.
This massive system coming on the heels of a fast-moving clipper that brought snow squalls to western Pennsylvania. Travel treacherous. Vehicles flipping on their sides. West of Boston, a 4-alarm house fire in Oakham claiming one man's life. Firefighters battling single-digit temperatures, freezing hoses, and icy
conditions. That looked like that was a nice house, man. That house looked like it was a nice house. Let it play.
Overnight, major lake effect snow south of Buffalo. Some 60 vehicles involved in a series of crashes on Interstate 90, the scene stretching 6 miles. And new dash camera video from that 100-plus vehicle pileup in Zeeland, Michigan, showing there was no escape. The driver moving toward the median, trying to get out of the way. But the chain reaction crashes were all around him. David, the storm is headed all the way here to the northeast. And tonight, the National Weather Service is warning.
I don't like driving in the snow. You could be careful as much as you want. You could be going slow. You got some idiot that'll be speeding or lose control of his vehicle. I hate driving in the snow. I despise it. Bring it back a little. This is crazy.
Some 60 vehicles involved in a series of crashes on Interstate 90, the scene stretching 6 miles. And new dash camera video from that 100-plus vehicle pileup in Zeeland, Michigan, showing there was no escape. The driver moving toward the median, trying to get out of the way. But the chain reaction crashes were all around him. David, the storm is headed all the way here to the northeast. And tonight, the National Weather Service is warning everyone, especially all across the South, to prepare for power outages and to take this very seriously. David.
Yeah, they're about to see conditions they are not used to. Stephanie Ramos leading us off. Thank you. Let's get right to WABC Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg, who's going to carefully take us through this tonight. This is massively.
It is a far-reaching storm, David, and can bring a large part of our country to a halt over the weekend. Now, we're already seeing those winter storm watches from New Mexico all the way to North Carolina, and that's from a window from later Friday into the day on Saturday when the brunt is going to be felt. We're going to start to see the big snows and ices start to develop Friday afternoon, Amarillo and the snow, and you can see Lubbock over to Shreveport and the ice that goes from the Mid-South into the Mid-Atlantic as we go into Saturday. Now, look at this area of icing. It's extensive, and you see this area of purple with a half-inch of ice secretion. You could talk about widespread power outages and major damage, and the problem is it's amplified by the deep freeze, so it'll be a very slow and difficult recovery. Then this storm moves to the East Coast and redevelops, and we're analyzing it on multiple computer models. Our American model has a big swath of snow, the heavy snow in the I-95 corridor, while the European model says, no, we're going to mix a little bit along the coast and maybe some lower totals, but I
want the European model. The European model looks better.
You're talking about significant totals, a high probability of 6 inches or more from the southern plains all the way into the I-95 corridor. We'll keep through it every step of the way. We'll tell you what the forecast is doing. David?
That's crazy. Give me Isaiah chapter 29, verse 1. Because God is a reason why you got ice doing what they're doing to the people, and God is a reason why you got snow and ice doing what it's doing to the people.
Isaiah chapter 29, verse 1. Woe to Ariel, the city where David dwelt.
Okay, Ariel is just another name for Jerusalem, the Israelites. So woe unto them, destruction unto them. Read on.
Add ye year to year. Let them kill sacrifices. Yet I will distress Ariel, and there shall be heaviness and sorrow.
God said, I'm bringing distress, heaviness, and sorrow to Israel. Read on.
And it shall be unto me as Ariel. And I will camp against thee round about, and will lay siege against thee with a mount, and I will raise forts against thee.
So God is bringing an attack on the Israelites. Read on.
And thou shalt be brought down, and shalt speak out of the ground, and thy speech shall be low out of the dust, and thy voice shall be as of one that hath a familiar spirit out of the ground, and thy speech shall whisper out of the dust.
You ain't going to have so much mouth when God comes to judge. Read on.
Moreover, the multitude of thy strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of the terrible ones shall be as chaff that passeth away. Yea, it shall be at an instant suddenly. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm, and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire.
So that's what God is bringing, storms. God will visit you with storms. Because they say, oh, this is just a natural occurrence. No, this is God.
and the multitude of all the nations that fight against Ariel, even all that fight against her and her munition, and that distress her, shall be as a dream of a night vision. It shall even be as when an hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth, but he awaketh, and his soul is empty.
So while you're dreaming, God is going to bring you to a reality. Read on.
Or as when a thirsty man dreameth, and behold, he drinketh.
You dreaming about drinking something, and when you wake up, there's a reality. You ain't got nothing to drink, and you ain't got nothing to eat.
But he awaketh, and behold, he is faint, and his soul hath appetite. And so shall the multitude of all the nations be that fight against Mount Zion. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken.
Okay. Let's stop there. Give me Job chapter 38, verse 18. God is controlling these storms. God says he will visit us with storms as punishment for our disobedience to him. It don't just snow from nowhere.
Job chapter 38, verse 18. Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth?
So this is when he was rebuking Job for questioning him.
Declare if thou knowest it all.
Do you know anything about that? Read on.
Where is the way where light dwelleth?
Do you know where light comes from?
And as for darkness, where is the place thereof?
Do you know where darkness comes from?
That thou shouldest take it to the bound thereof, and that thou shouldest know the paths to the house thereof.
Can you show the house, the dwelling place of light and dark? Because Job was questioning God, and he was like, look, I'm your creator and your maker. You don't question me. You don't know the things that I know.
Knowest thou it, because thou was then born?
Was you born at the time when this stuff was around?
Or because the number of thy days is great?
Or because you've been on this earth a long time? Have you figured these things out yet, Job?
Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow?
Have you entered? God says that the snow, there's treasures in it. Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow?
Or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail?
Have you seen the treasures of the hail? God calls the snow and the hail treasures. Why? Read on.
Which I have reserved against the time of trouble.
He said, I reserved this to bring trouble into your life. That's why you see in these storms. He says, the snow and the hail is like a treasure for me that I'm going to use to bring trouble into your life. So while we're preparing for all this panic, nobody is saying this is the handiwork of God. Read it again.
Which I have reserved against the time of
trouble. Read the verse before.
Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow?
Have you entered into the treasures of my snow?
Or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail?
Have you seen the treasures of the hail?
Which I have reserved against the time of trouble.
Which I've reserved to bring trouble to the people when I feel it's necessary. So it's not just snowing just because, and I was thinking about this, because I was thinking about how much I hate the snow. And I said, man, God is in control. Why is he doing it? Because he want to bring trouble to you people. You too relaxed, so you got to get taxed. He got to disrupt your life for bringing them strife. He said, I've reserved the snow and the hail for trouble. Read on.
Against the day of battle and war?
For battle and war. That's what God is using this for. Because you see men preparing like we ready to go to war against the snow.
This is war!
Salt and shovel and get your boots and get your food and get your gas in your car. Prepare for outage. That's what happened when war happened. There's a God in the sky making people on the earth ask why. And some of y'all gonna die. This is at the hand of God. He said, the treasures of snow and hail, I've reserved them to bring trouble. And the way how we know it is because it's not just hitting one area. It's 70 million people are going to feel. Look at the path. Only a God can do that. It's disrupting every single thing you think about. Schools are going to be closed. Nobody goes to church. No cars on the road. Make sure you got your food. Make sure you're warm. Make sure you have stuff for when the lights go out. Make sure you got emergency service preparedness because ambulance can't come. Police can't move. But nobody ever think that there's a God that's in control of all this. Nobody never stopped down to think this just happens. It's just regular. No, it's not just regular. This is God putting that foot in that behind. Because you don't have him on your mind, he got to put his foot in your behind. That's why he said before, they regard not the operation of the Lord. It's not just snowing. It's the Almighty showing, I am the head one in charge. Read.
By what way is the light parted, which scattereth the east wind upon the earth? Who have divided a water course for the overflowing of waters.
You don't know how the light work, the water work. What verse you in?
Verse 25 now, sir.
Read on.
Who have divided a water course for the overflowing of waters.
I'm the one that control the waters, the light. Read on.
Or a way for the lightning of thunder.
I'm the one that bring that lightning and that thunder. When you sitting down trying to wonder. Read on.
To cause it to rain on the earth.
I'm the one that decides rain, go on the earth.
Where no man is. On the wilderness, wherein there is no man.
I could put the rain wherever I want. I could put the snow wherever I want. And right now I'm dropping snow on your behind. That's going to mess with your mind.
To satisfy the desolate and waste ground. And to cause the bud of the tender herb to spring forth.
I could drop the rain to make things spread forth.
Hath the rain a father?
The rain ain't, he said, does the rain have a father? No, because he's the father. Read on.
Or who have begotten the drops of dew?
Who begotten the drops of dew? God is in control of all of that.
Out of whose womb came the ice? And
did the ice come from somebody's womb? He's asking sarcastic, rhetorical questions to Job. Because Job was trying to challenge him.
And the hoary frost of heaven, who have gendered it?
I'm the one that brought this frost here. Although they tell you Jack Frost snipping at your nose. No, there ain't no such thing as Jack Frost. The Most High is the boss.
The waters are hid as with a stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Canst thou bring forth Mazzaroth in his season?
He said from everything. He's covering everything. That he takes credit for it.
Canst thou bring forth Mazzaroth in his season?
What verse you at?
Verse 32, sir.
So I want to stop there. I wanted to stop there. Give me the book of Psalms 78, verse 43. This is when he was judging the Egyptians. He used the elements and the weather for war.
Psalm chapter 78, verse 43. How he had wrought his signs in Egypt and his wonders in the field of Zoan, and had turned their rivers into blood and their floods that they could not drink.
Okay, he'll make it so you have no drinking water.
He sent divers sorts of flies among them.
He'll send the insects against you,
which devoured them, and frogs, which destroyed them. He gave also their increase unto the caterpillar, and their labor unto the locust.
He'll let caterpillars and locusts come and eat your crops up.
He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore trees with frost.
He will destroy your agriculture, your plants, by making it cold. That's why he says, I'll destroy your sycamore trees with frost. A lot of times we think that this stuff just happens, and we don't consider the operation of God. He's disrupting our life as it's written in the scripture. So it's up to us to paint the picture. This stuff don't just happen. Read again.
He destroyed their vines with hail.
He said he'll destroy their vines with hail.
And their sycamore trees with
frost. And the nice sycamore trees, he'll change the weather. He'll change the temperature. Because we're going to have bone-chilling cold for the next week. On top of the snow. That's God. Every time you step out your house and you see that snow and there's no way to go, that's God. Oh, that's a beautiful picture right there. He just looked. He said, you know what? I got something for Babylon. The angel's like, how big you want the storm, Lord? Oh, start from the west coast and let it go all the way to the east coast. They look a little bit relaxed right now. Let it hit some of Texas, too, because it's warm down there. Let it hit places that they never expected and make you think. That's what you should be doing. You should be thinking when you see this stuff happening. And we're using scripture to paint the picture. It's not just a storm. It's the Most High God in the heavens showing you who's in charge.
He gave up their cattle also to the hail, and their flocks to hot thunderbolts.
He will destroy your livestock. What verse you at?
That was verse 48, sir.
That's it? 48 is finished?
Yes, sir. 48 is finished.
Give me Zechariah chapter 14, verse 17.
Zechariah chapter 14, verse 17. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the king.
This is when he sets his kingdom up and you decide you want to go against him.
The Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
He'll stop rain from falling where you live so that you'll die. God uses the weather to control the people, whether it be snow, whether it be rain, whether it be the sun. He uses the elements, whether it be hail, to control the people. This is not just a regular snowstorm. This is judgment.
And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the feast of the tabernacles.
So when God laid down the law and you go against him, he's going to disrupt your life. He can use the rain to do it, the sun to do it, the hail to do it, the snow to do it. Give me Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10.
Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman?
It's important that when this stuff is going wrong on this earth, you got a woman of virtue around you. Read on.
For her price is far above rubies.
Because she's valuable when stuff like this is happening. Drop down to verse 21.
Verse 21. She is not afraid of the snow.
A virtuous woman is not worried about the snow because she knows how to go. Her mind is on God, so she ain't looking odd. She's like, make sure my baby got gloves, they got scarf, they got the food. Some of your houses didn't prepare. But the Bible tells you that a virtuous woman, what? Read it.
She is not afraid of the snow.
She's not worried. She's saying my house is going to be good. So that's what y'all need in your house. Make sure you got a virtuous spouse. That's not bringing evil to the people. The bishop always speak about don't have no dumb women around you. Because you got women that don't even know that this is coming. They're not even preparing. They're on social media. They're on TikTok. They're on their Instagram. They didn't do no preparations. But God says that a virtuous woman, what? Verse 21.
She is not afraid of the snow.
She ain't worried about this snow when it's coming. Because she's well instructed by God. Read on.
She is not afraid of the snow for her household, For all her household are clothed with scarlet.
She making sure they got their food, they got their winter coat, they got their scarf, they got candles in the house. So y'all need to prepare. That's why he says here about the woman, you better make sure you got a good woman, a smart woman in your house, and not some dumb woman that's trying to, whoa, what's going on? They know more about gossip and foolishness than what is needed to make preparations for their house. Give me the book of Psalms 107, verse 23.
Psalms chapter 107, verse 23. They that go down to the sea in ships, that do business in great waters, these see the works of the Lord and his wonders in the deep.
Because they're in that ocean by themselves and they know the power of God. Read on.
For he commendeth and raiseth the stormy wind.
God is the one that raised the winds. Read on.
Which lifteth up the waves thereof.
And big, huge waves come from the operation of God.
They mount up to the heaven. They go down again to the depths. Their soul is melted because of trouble.
Because they're afraid of what God can do with the elements, with the wind, with the water.
They reel to and fro and stagger like a drunken man.
Meaning when God is in control, you better pray for your soul. He could take you in any direction you want.
They reel to and fro and stagger like a drunken man and are at their wits' end.
You're at your wits' end because you're like, when is this going to be over?
Then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble.
Then we cry unto the Lord in our trouble. Because we know if you're smart, you know that all this is happening because of God. This is not just happening just because. Every time you see a storm, God is the one that decides to let that storm come. Read on.
And he bringeth them out of their distresses.
And God will bring us out of the distress if we do what he says is best.
He maketh the storm a calm, so that
he can calm the storm. This is for you people that's worried. He can calm the storm. Read on.
So that the waves thereof are still. Then are they glad because they be quiet.
Then we get glad when everything's over. We have to give all praises to the Most High.
So he bringeth them unto their desired haven. Oh, that men should praise the Lord for his goodness.
We must praise the Lord every time a storm comes and we survive it. Okay, don't give no credit to no man on this earth. God controls the elements as we just read. What verse was that?
That was middle of verse 31, sir.
Read on.
And for his wonderful works to the children of men.
And for his wonderful works to the children of man. That's it?
Yes, sir.
So, I'll take a few questions. I'm not staying here long with y'all. I'm tired. We got a lot of stuff happening. And I just wanted to go over these scriptures with you that I was reading. All praises to the Most High God. Are you people that don't believe in God? Yo, you gonna mess around and find out. Y'all got a big storm coming. Y'all not even looking at this. Is the power of God. Just had my baby boy. I won't be able to circumcise him until the next month. Just do it when you got a chance to do it. Lord ain't going to hold that against you. Just make sure you get circumcised. I ain't get mine until 26 years old. How about that? First Corinthians 9:25, get that? I live in Florida, and every time a hurricane comes, I acknowledge it's God. That's right, Jarrell. That's the Most High God. It don't just rain. It don't just snow. Everything is the operation of God. I don't care about your weather forecaster or your news or your meteorologist. It's God. To him be the glory. He wrote the story.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Your mastery is in serving the Lord.
Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown.
And you don't want to do it through corruption. You want to do it through God's instruction. You must strive to be a master in serving the Lord and not get a corruptible crown.
But we are incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight. I, not as the one that beateth the air. Continue, Deke. That was it.
That's it. It's pretty much explaining it. How you going to keep warm, Deacon? Man, I got my long johns on. I got my thermals. My biggest problem is usually my hands and my feet, so everything else I'm usually good. I just don't like driving in the snow because I feel like anything could go wrong at any time. You just saw a 100-car pileup, and I'm sure the other 98 cars, they wasn't expecting to be in no damn accident. Yes, Israelite Judah. Is it against the Sabbath to attend a wedding I was invited to? Hell yes. You don't go to no weddings on the Sabbath. That's the Lord's Day. That's why they can't predict the weather accurately. If you know what you're playing through my mind all day, Shalom, Israel. Yeah, I don't like no cold. I remember when my kids was young, especially my daughter, I would just love to hug her. She was always so hot and she would keep me warm. Then they grow up and it's all gone. I hate driving in the snow. I despise it. Yes, keep us in prayer. We need all the prayer we can get. Yes, Donna. Genesis 3:16, get that. Deacon, when we work with the fellow brethren who don't know the truth or are not in the truth, how should we carry ourselves with the commandments? Okay, everybody gets rebuked, but you must correct them according in a way that you don't destroy them. But you conduct yourself by Christ said, let your light shine before men that they may see your good works. You keep the commandments around them. As a young man, how can I be a servant for my leadership and show the desire? Come to the school and have them instruct you in the word of God. You can't serve them if you don't understand what the service is. So you got to get to a place where you can be instructed in the word of God. The power goes out this weekend to the town to be so cold at night you won't be able to think. That's right, that cold be hitting you hard. You do have some Israelites among the Somalians, but most of them are not Israelites. Remember the scriptures say we're going to be gathered out of all nations, kindreds, and tongues. You got Israelites there. Read it, reader.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
When they bring forth children, it's going to hurt.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Meaning you got to have a husband to instruct you so Satan don't destroy you. Yeah, they saying that also here, stay home. As a matter of fact, I hope they don't do it like they did before. I remember when they just closed the highways. I couldn't go nowhere. I'm hearing they're going to do that again. Is it wrong for me to wear fringes in order to be seen by men? I don't know what you mean by that. You're not putting the fringes on for men. You're putting the fringes on to keep your mind on the commandments. I don't know what you mean by that. Who is the prophet in 2 Kings 23:18?
This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 23, verse 18. And he said, let him alone. Let no man move his bones. So they let his bones alone, with the bones of the prophet that came out of Samaria.
I don't know. I can't tell just by that sentence. You expect me to just read that sentence and say who it is? There's a whole lot of context to it. And I'm not going to search it just for that. I have no idea what they're talking about. Sometimes y'all just put one sentence and expect us to unravel it. I got to go and read the context to see what was going on. And I don't want to do that while I have all these questions. I remember I was working at Husband, how let us go when it was too late. What I mean is wrong for me to put on fringes because I want to be seen. The fringes are, again, for you to keep God's commandments. Whether people look at them or not, I don't care. I like when I see a brother and they got the fringes on, I know that they're in the faith. So if that's what you mean, for another brother to see it and be like, hey, there's a brother keeping the commandments, there's nothing wrong with that. How can I download your classes from YouTube? If you get Real Player and you attach it to YouTube, when you click over the video, you get the option to download. Just go Google and type in Real Player. I think you call it Real Cloud now. Install it, attach it to your YouTube, and when a video plays, it'll give you the option to download it. I see your classes have been all deleted on your channel. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I know they've been keeping the numbers down. I watched the video last week go up to like 10,000, and then when I go to check it, it's back down to like 8 something. And they've been doing that a lot. I don't know why. It just makes no sense to me. All praises, Lorraine. Without having a father in the truth, how should I be looking for that guidance with the men in the congregation? That's why we tell you how to congregate. It says to entreat those men as fathers, meaning they're going to guide you, and that's the only way you can build relationships. There's over 10 videos listed, and it says you have over 300. I'm not sure what page you're looking on. I went to one of the schools in Rochester, went to a search. My wife came out with her bra in her pocketbook. I was offended. I don't know what happened. I don't know why her bra would be in her pocketbook. Let her explain to you. That's every time there's the search is going on, there's witnesses there. So I don't know what's going on. And the fact that you would say that here, I don't know. Usually people, they won't broadcast something like that. You just put me on game with the Rio player. I've been looking for a way to download. Yes, I've been using that for years. They switched it from Real Player to Real Cloud, but it does work with no problems, and it's free. Would I be breaking the law if I lie to my insurance in order to get a new phone? Because my old one is giving me a problem and it's not working. Well, if it's not working, then you ain't lying. Just it's not working. That's what the insurance is for. First Kings 13:1 is Real Player on the App Store. No, it is not an app. I get it. This is for my computer, not your phone. I am the truth when my children refuse to listen to me when I tell them the severity of what is to come. Well, all you could do is warn them. If they don't listen, let them know God going to judge them. Some of the kids are not going to listen. Some of the kids are going to turn against you. The scriptures tell you the children shall rise up against their parents. So that spirit is going to jump on some children where they're going to turn on you. Just be ready for it, and it is what it is. Well, Princess, if your parents are not believers or followers, you got to respect them until you move out their house. You cannot make them believe. So there's a lot of people who was with us. They lived in their parents' house. They had to abide their time until they was able to get a job and move out. But the scriptures say to honor your mother and your father. So you cannot disrespect them. We don't teach that here. You deal with them until you can move out. What is a drink you use for after? I use protein. Protein is the best thing for me. That's been helping me with my recovery. I don't take protein before a workout. I take it after a workout. And it's not going to heal with the pain right away. It takes time. Sometimes days. That's why a lot of people don't want to work out. My daughter doesn't listen to me. She never did. When she gets older, let her go. You cannot beg your children to respect you. Some of them, it is what it is. They just don't like you, and you can't force a child to like you. As long as you don't know that you did your best, that's it. Yes, Sister Yapa. I don't do the pre-workout, but some people says it worked for them. It never worked for me. My pre-workout is to get rest before I put my body to the test. If I'm not rested, nothing's going to help. So I just make sure I like to take a little nap, then go handle my business. On a woman's separation, does she return to her husband on the 8th day? If they want to have relations, you got to stay away. For 7 days, you're unclean. No warming up food on the Sabbath. You eat it room temperature or cold. You pray for me. I'm in the hospital. Yes, Carol. Why not bring it up? Is there something to hide? I was one of the founders that started in Rochester. They have no respect. See, whenever people do stuff like this publicly open, and then when we sit down, the person that brought it to the public is always a liar. Never, ever since I've been doing this for 20-something years. Whenever people go to social media, they go to a platform and they start griping, you are trying to get an intended outcome. Don't take me there. I've been doing this too long. Always that person is lying and making things up and embellishing things. Now, if you was genuine, you would you would do as the scriptures say in Matthew chapter 18. You will go to them one-on-one. If they don't listen, you get 2 witnesses. Okay? But when you do stuff like this in an open forum, it shows that your character. It shows that you are not of good character. And it shows that you're trying to put me on the spot to handle a situation someplace where I'm not, to try to make a decision. It shows your character. Don't challenge me. Don't put me in that predicament. It's going to turn out bad for you. And never, ever, no one has ever done what you're doing, and they've been successful. You probably knew, and you don't know who I am. Don't ever try and put me to make a decision against one of our locations on an open platform. It will not work out good for you. I haven't had to do this in a long time. Don't test me. I am not the one. The storm is here in Oklahoma, snowing till Sunday. Damn, y'all got your snow early. I thought I was going to come Friday, but I'm glad they said Sunday. It's all good. See, now you got Lisette saying Rochester, they helped us. So we ain't listening to you. You're coming from an emotional place, my wife, and they took her. I'm not believing you. If you were sincere and you was genuine, you wouldn't do that here. Usually the people that do what you did, they have an agenda. I've been doing this too long. Well, the ritual behind baby showers, getting the chair and all that stuff, we don't do that. Someone can give you gifts. We're not against that. But they've turned it into a pagan custom. So y'all tell me when we've hit 2 hours and 30 minutes. I didn't hear nothing. What do we do if you have a child that you haven't dealt with all their life? You come into the truth. You realize you've been worse than an infidel. How do you just humble yourself and try to fix it? If it don't, it is what it is. But the worst thing to do is not trying. Did you knit about the history of graduation gowns. Can you do a class on it? I wouldn't do a class. I just know we never did that. That's a custom of the world. We don't have to go into, that's something that they made up. Well, the Israelites never did that. It's not something we have to dig deep into. That's right. It's that cold on top of the snow because it makes it linger. It's not like it snows and then it goes away. And I'm just thinking now, most of y'all in Clubhouse, has anyone ever come on the Clubhouse where you could talk? You could call and you could talk. I'll be like, you could talk about anything. And they say, well, they did this to me and they did that to me. And I press them and I'm saying, what happened? And I ask for all the details. How things turn out when I press them and ask for them, and you can hear it. I'm like, say it right here. Well, all these people here, and I press them. How it turns out for the person that's making a complaint, now that I'm thinking about it. You people that are on Clubhouse and you hear me question them live. Even when they're saying, well, I don't want to say nothing and you don't know what's happening. I'm like, say it right here, how it turns out. Thank you, Mix and Devora. And any real Israel. Y'all see me do that when they come into the Clubhouse with that same type of stuff. And then I even call people up that's there, and they be like, yo, Deke, they lying. That's right. They get mad and they leave because they don't expect me to press them right there. I am not the one. How can I tell my cousin that Islam is garbage without getting into a fight? Well, if he wants to fight, there's nothing you could do about it. It's not up to you, it's up to him. Remember the guy this morning? When I asked, he complained about us in our teaching. I asked, well, who do you like? Then when he said the name, I was like, those guys call us faggots. They call us all type of names. Then he tried, no, you see what you're doing this way? Come on, man. I told him, say it. Say what it is that you have a gripe with us. And as soon as I let him explain, he put his foot in his mouth. Then he started trying to backtrack. Y'all heard him this morning. Then try to put it like I'm giving him a hard time. I said, no, you a liar. You tried to lie. I don't go. I don't like IUIC because you can say this about the woman. Then when I show him the scripture, he don't believe the scripture. So I say, who do you like? And the person he says he like is the biggest gossiper about us on social media. I've never seen it. I never seen them. I don't know. I didn't know they say that. That's right. They start lying, and then when you ask them to expound, you go more in detail, then they start backtracking and they start trying to play victim. How do you find the Clubhouse? Well, first you got to download the app to your phone. That's what the app looks like. You go to your Play Store or your Android store, you download this app. Once it's installed, you have to create a profile. See those pictures? Those are their profile. And our room is Biblical Smoke. That's it. But you cannot get into the Clubhouse to ask questions until you install it on your phone, create a profile, then you raise your hand and we'll call you up and we could talk one-on-one. And I let people ask anything. I let them say anything. They got a gripe, I'm like saying right here. And every single person that's come with, they did this to me and they that to me, they lying. They lied. Now, one person in all the years that we've been doing it, they just was emotional. They wanted everybody to hear so they could have an outcome, and it never, ever works. Never, ever works. Let me see the chat again. How was leg day? Oh, it's still hell, man. It's still hell. It could be me just being extra, but I just don't like the feeling when I like when my chest is popping in my arms, but the legs be like, stop it, you're trying to kill me. What did I do to you? I walk you everywhere you want to go. Why would you put me through this pain? I'm like, shut up, nigga. See you again in 3 more days. Have a power outage emergency plan. Your house will become unbearable almost immediately. That's right. How do I engage with my mother who is in the world without making it awkward? Christ said your enemies will be they of your own house. So I cannot tell you differently from what Christ says. He says you'll be at variance with your mother and your father. Get Matthew 10, verse 34. So there's no way. The Bible doesn't say this is how you deal with them. Christ says to expect it, the issues with your mother and your father and your spouse and your children in your house. There's nobody that could tell you, well, all you got to do is this, and all you got to do is say that, and show them this scripture.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
Christ said, don't think I came to send peace on earth. Read on.
I came not to send peace, but a sword.
Your sword is your Bible, and it's going to cut people spiritually.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
Christ said, if you follow me, you will be against your father.
And the daughter against her mother.
You will be against your mother.
And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
You'll be against your extended family if you're married.
And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
So Christ said your enemies are going to begin in your house. So I can't tell you how to stop that. All I can tell you is to prepare for it. Are there any classes for women and mothers specifically? Yes, we have our Daughters of Sarah. But we don't broadcast them live here. Once you're part of the body, we'll let you in. What's that? Post a link for the women. He's going to post a YouTube page for those of you, for the person who asked about the mothers and the women. Is that video new that you just posted, that thing you just sent? Oh, play that before we go, because before they said 70 million, now look at the number that they switched it to. What you just sent me. Did you just send me something? Oh, they just raised the number from 70 million affected to 230 million affected. So that's the YouTube link there for the daughters of Sarah. Hey, everyone, I got to let y'all go. I'm preparing for the snow. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. And like I said, y'all got questions, come into the clubhouse. Hopefully we'll be up this Sunday because there'll be Snowmageddon on Sunday, so I don't know what to expect. So we'll be on the clubhouse. We do it every day except for Saturday. We're on Clubhouse 24 hours a day. You can meet us in our room, which is Biblical Smoke. And then another room starts at 12 noon, which is Upload God's Laws. And any questions you didn't get to ask here, you can speak to us in Clubhouse. Once you download the app, create a profile, raise your hand. You can ask us any question you want, and we will answer you there. I got kicked out of Clubhouse. I don't know. There's nobody I kicked out that I won't let them in. I may remove somebody for the room, but if they come back respectfully, I'll let them in. House of Dynamite is a movie I set to watch on Netflix. I got to go, Israel. Most High in Christ bless. Happy Sabbath and Shalom. I'll keep you in prayer. You keep me in prayer. Remember to donate to our PayPal to help the prophets for the travel. You brothers and sisters that have sent stuff to me, I thank you. I appreciate you. And may the Lord bless you and your house. Shalom.